was the one task that was first mentioned. Today's society, too often we confuse justice with politics. This mentality transcends one's opinion about the government or political lines. We think only politicians really have the power to instill or uphold acts of justice or perpetuate injustice. But there's a very narrow view of what justice is and embodies. God, throughout the course of history, is a God of justice. There's no denying it. God, through Moses and Aaron and Miriam, saved the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. God delivered them time and time again from their enemies in the case of Joshua and Gideon and David. And because of that, God expects acts of justice from his people. God expects us to act in similar ways on behalf of others, especially those who are deemed lesser than. Justice in the Bible does not mean fairness or the punishing of wrong behavior and rewarding of good behavior. That's usually thought of in today's society and what's usually carried out in our court system. Throughout the Bible, both Old and New Testament, justice means equal access to goods and services in a society for all of its members. This justice goes beyond the bounds of charity, giving food to those who are hungry and clothes to those who are naked. Too often we believe that acts of charity are equal to acts of justice, but they are not. True justice transforms society and its people, including others, rather than placing a Band-Aid on a metaphorical gaping wound. True justice would be achieved when societal and economic structures are transformed enough so that there would be no need for acts of charity, because all would have more than enough. From the beginning of time, we have been called to be in the trenches, to accomplish holy justice, to break the cycles of injustice. We're not to simply desire it, hope for it, admire it, and appreciate it when it does come. Instead, we either actively participate in accomplishing it. And in a nutshell, that, I believe, is why the church has been declining over the decades. And has lost its favorite place in society. It's because of our inaction and our concentration on lesser things and ways not God's. We've tried to be something that we were never expected to be. And as a result, we've lost our way, and we need to get back on track. I yearn for our church to be a change agent for true justice in our community. I yearn for our church to be a holy vessel that transforms those who call Wabash Christian Church home, and those who never set foot inside our church doors. We do a lot of great work and mission in our community that's God-breathed, and that we have been called to do as Jesus calls us. We've invested the use of our time and our resources and money, and at the same time, there is more that we can do to bring justice to the people of Wabash who are on the fringe, the same people we have been called to walk alongside. There's more we can do to radically transform the lives of so many who are searching for something so deep and so profound. And I'll be honest, I don't exactly know what that looks like for sure, but I've got some ideas. In fact, what I know is we're calling to be a part of it. But lucky for me, I've been called to do work and to do ministry alongside a church that is equally passionate in following in the footsteps of Christ as I'd ask you to be in deep prayer over this great matter so that we can rise to address some deep hurts and deep pains that people are experiencing. I believe this quote by William Willimon, who's a great Methodist pastor, bishop, and theologian, kind of just hits the nail on the head. We desperately need leaders who are unsatisfied with decline, who refuse to bow to sociological determinism, who emphasize the distinctive church. Church growth is not the point. The point is vital witness in word and deed to the presence of God in our midst. And the whole church said,